No, that's not the point. The point is whether it exists or not. If it does, let's just say I say it exists.
No, hold on. That's not your point, but that is the point.
No, wait. I'll tell.
If you disagree with the premise, fine. But you can't then go and argue with
I'm not
our
even
point
disagreeing with the premise, dude.
by arguing with a
I was
different
making
point.
my own point.
It's incoherent to do that.
I was making my own point from the beginning. I wasn't like piggybacking off anyone else's point.
You're talking to yourself at this point.
No, I wasn't actually. Jeremy was also making basically a version of that point initially, and then I just made a secondary, recapitulation of that point in my own words, using maybe more technical language.
The fact is that it is there, and the fact is that it is fundamental.
Well, you don't know that, right? You've not actually demonstrated that, but it may be the case.
It has been demonstrated. The fact that you don't know that's fine, but it has been demonstrated.
Okay, I definitely don't know that, and you have not demonstrated in this conversation. You've given maybe some supporting evidence. You've not demonstrated it beyond a shadow of a doubt.
What do you mean, dude? It's very well visible. Like, I don't understand how you're gonna say that nobody's perceived the magnetic field and
swirling magnetic field
outlined its geometry.
Look, what was laid out was that there's a swirling magnetic field, and that it's a necessary for all other aspects of reality. That may well be the case, but that has definitely not been demonstrated.
What was it specifically?
In this
I missed it.
In this conversation.
What was it specifically? I missed it.
So the assertion in this conversation was that from both of you was that there is a swirling magnetic field, which is the necessary antecedent for everything else in creation, right? That point, maybe it's been demonstrated elsewhere, but not in this conversation.
A rotational magnetic field, if you will. Someone's hot micing. I don't know who.
It's the new guy, I think.
Yeah, it was a rotational magnetic field, and that's what Tesla was talking about being his greatest discovery. Not that of the AC generator, but rather the understanding of this rotational magnetic field and the ramifications thereof. So, like, I don't understand how you're denying a dynamic magnetic field, right, resulting in something like whether it be electricity or magnetism or light itself, right? This is all consistent. Even with matter. I mean, look at Lamar precession. That's all following this certain geometry, which is who the fuck is hot micing?
I think Jamango is.
I got him. Anyhow,
I don't think he was hot miking. I think he was trying to get in. He wasn't hot miking. He was just interrupting you.
Same difference. He got carrying us.
Yeah, I'm not even denying. Like I said, you said I'm denying it. I'm not denying it. I'm saying in this conversation, it's and actually, to be honest, in a bunch of other conversations that I've been listening to, I don't think it's actually been demonstrated. I've heard supporting evidence. I've not heard it being demonstrated.
To interrupt, sorry guys. You're right. No, you're not denying.
You might be new here, so you can only hot mic when Jeremy's talking. You can't do it any other time.
I have no
that is a rule.
I'm good with it.
And I don't know if anyone was addressing me, but I was talking to someone else. If you were, so I missed it.
Oh, I just said I was never denying it. I in this conversation, and to be frank, in other conversations as well, when I've listened in about the swirling magnetic field, the ether, I've heard a lot of supporting evidence, which sounds good, but I've not heard it being demonstrated beyond a shadow of a doubt as to how it's fundamental to all other phenomena. Again,
yeah, there's nothing in the universe that's not magnetoreactive, right? That doesn't pertain to something being, ferromagnetic, paramagnetic, or diamagnetic, right? So everything all phenomena is revolving around one of these three categories pertaining to magnetoreactivity. And the only thing that science can currently say isn't is these neutrinos, which in my opinion is very scrutinizable and subjective. So, but anyhow, point is if you're going to go against that, you're not only going against the mainstream, but you're going against ether field theory. So, I mean, if you've got a third viable option to support, the necessary antecedent to reality, then by all means, I'll listen.
So I don't need to come up with a third viable option. It's the same thing as like when Globers say like, you don't know if that's not the case, then what is, right? I don't have to replace it. It has to be demonstrated in the beginning. Now I'm not even denying it. Literally, I'm in perfectly good faith. I just want to hear like, so you said that everything in reality is magnetic. I don't know what the other terms were. To be fair, that must be
Magnetoreactive. That's how I put it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what is on the North Pole, so it's different. What's the needle pushing to the north? We are not allowed to see the North Pole.
So magnetoreactive means things react to magnetic fields. Is that correct?
Of course, it's showing to something magnetic, but I don't know. I want to see what is really in the north. If it's a mountain or
We're not talking
are
about
there
topic though, bro.
fields of the earth. I don't know. I want to see it.
Bro, we're not talking
It's a
about
separate topic than what we're talking about.
I think he might be drunk.
Sorry, no, sorry. Did I miss the topic? I'm from Austria. Sorry, so my English is not the best.
We're not talking about that, bro. Just listen and maybe
Okay.
you'll get the context.
Okay, sorry.
So
I'm a bit tired. But don't carry. I'm a bit tired.
Fuck me, man.
All right, just go on mute, Jim Mango.
No, I just listen for a while. Wait, I mute me a little. I will listen to getting the topic.
All right, just go on mute for another.
So magnetoreactive, again, I don't know these terms, but I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, magnetoreactive.
I already laid it out, bro. There's no need to assume. I already said anything that's ferromagnetic, diamagnetic, or paramagnetic.
What is the difference between those three
Everything in reality is consistent of permittivity and permeability.
Do these are terms that okay, I guess I have to read this up on my own because that's just too
much.
Yeah,
it can easily Googleable, so go for it.
I guess so. If I just know that if I did that in a conversation, just dump fucking 5 technical terms, I don't be like, well, what is that? What is that? What is that?
This is why I told you. No branch has ever really defined magnetism in the magnetic field or even a field in that, let alone dynamic fields, right? I said they understand field geometry, but not field dynamics.
Okay, so if it's not being defined, then how the fuck am I supposed to go and look it up?
Their understanding of it is not the relevant point. It's that it's there. Because the easy thing is they explain it by magma core, all of that rubbish. But the moment you remove that because you know that that's bullshit, you don't have to explain necessarily why it happens. You can just acknowledge that it does happen.
Yeah, but
there's no disagreement. There's no disagreement there. The disagreement within what Dieslow's position is and the mainstream position is that the cause for it is something different.
But I'm not talking.
But your point is disagreeing that the event or the condition even exists in the first place, which is kind of bizarre.
Did I say that?
Fair enough.
Did I say that?
That's implications of what you said.
No. I said that it doesn't necessarily exist. It may exist. If I'd even lean towards it existing, it seems like people, just from my abductive reasoning, listening to other people, it seems like some parts of it click and check out. I'm just saying it's not been.
Okay, then you just don't understand it. He's already explained this multiple times.
Dude, nothing was explained
here. It's not something to be argued with.
Dude, nothing was explained here. What was asserted was that everything is diamagnetic, paramagnetic, or something else. He said 3 things, and I don't know what those terms mean. Then he said that actually
that's not our problem, though, is it?
1 second, then it is your problem now because he said Google it, and then he said there actually is no definition for magnetism itself. So how could there be a definition for some subsets of magnetism?
Was the original question trying to demonstrate the ether?
Nobody can know everything.
What was the original question?
the premise of reality, right? The thing that is connected to all phenomena. We were talking about Tesla saying his greatest discovery wasn't that of the AC generator, rather than that of rotational magnetic fields, and that its understanding was essentially limitless and would out surpass science itself. And yeah, that's kind of like where it's all stemmed from.
I think we're
Okay,
gonna
I
hear
see.
a lot of Elon Musk in the future. With Elon Link
Bro,
even.
you're jumping off topic, Jamongo. We don't do that. We can jump onto a separate topic after the original topic that's
Sorry, I
being
just
discussed
wanna
that was just
address it.
outlined.
I'm muted, sorry.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Okay, go ahead and mute up. So, yeah, hopefully you're on a better playing field now that we've just addressed what the topic is. If not, hopefully
But
someone else
you
can
made
elaborate.
me think of like quantum
No, no.
physics where they. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You got it. You're go ahead, Engling. I don't know. This guy just doesn't seem to understand how
No,
to.
I
Oh,
want
I
to
heard
listen
you.
on your topic here, not to get into it.
So in quantum physics, when they're talking about particles like blipping into and out of existence, that's what it kind of reminded me of. Like, and where the ether comes in, where you're like, oh yeah, you're just disturbing a medium, and then you're able to detect that disturbance.
Right. Yeah, what they perceive as a particle is literally the intersection of two fields, right?
Dude, bingo,
And
the intersection of two fields. I was just thinking about how they show like the toroidal fields nested amongst each other, but then I was thinking, well, what if they're nested perpendicularly to create like a grid pattern where there's like all these nexus points and then the confluence of
yeah,
those two
nodal
things, like you were
points.
talking about. Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I think in Vasilato's book, he references one of Tesla's demonstrations or things that he was working on, and it actually shows that what you're talking about. Because, oh man, I wish I could say it in few words, but I'll find the citation in a bit. But basically, he's doing this effect, and then even things that aren't ferrous, like pieces of wood, random things that are just on his in his lab or whatever, they're all floating and doing funny stuff and reacting. So this is proof positive. But you could just go and simplify it, I think, Daiso, with the electrostatics that Witzer likes to talk about and some of his stuff. At this point, if you don't understand it, that's fine. But to ignore this fundamental of elements, for want of a better word, within creation is kind of strange.
I don't know. Are you directing that to me or something? I don't understand.
No, I'm not directing to you. I'm directing it to the issue that people have with what you're saying.
Oh. Okay. Either way, I mean, I'm always open to other interpretations or ideas, but
So you're talking about
just to say,
the intersection of two fields, right? Is that what you were saying?
well, in lieu of your question, yeah, and pertaining to particle physics.
Ether physics is how I kind of interpret it. Think
Or
about it.
the photon, if you will.
Yeah, it's just a disturbance in a medium to me.
You talked about
Causes
a particle propagating, right, and blipping into and out of existence, which is what's talked about in terms of the photon, right? That's how they ideate
yeah,
the
sure, yeah.
photon. Yeah. So
It's how it's
yeah, that.
described, yeah, yep. But
Well,
how
no, I
would
mean
something logically
that's
come into and out
yeah,
of
that's all they
existence,
have. But that's all they have is a description. They don't have a logical explanation. So in lieu of a logical explanation, they stand on their description and ideate the photon as being a particle, and this is where we get into atomism and materialism, and which is why I'm
Yeah.
illustrating the fact that they don't understand field dynamics, which is where which is why you fall into this whole materialism approach.
Yeah, it really is
And
all
then
about field pressure mediation.
right, temperature and pressure mediation, exactly. So which is the what phenomena is all based on ultimately, right?
Well, I'm
All
thinking, well,
phenomena
all
is a
phenomenon is
result.
based on is based on non-physical field pressure mediation. Like, for example, you're talking about like the nexus or like the crossing point between two fields. I'm thinking like in my mind, we're inside of a toroidal field, right? And so north and south is a north-south. Obviously, you understand which way that is. But a laser interferometer detects a drag that goes east and west in a different field. So there's two fields that are occupying the same space, but they're rotating in they're rotating perpendicularly, so they're creating like a friction. So when you said like the intersection of two fields, that's really what I was like thinking was like, wow, I wonder if
Yeah, you
that
got
does produce certain phenomenon.
two constants in the universe. So that of field pressure and for noumena, and time for phenomena. So noumena is basically the inverse of phenomena. Phenomena being everything in the visible universe, which is magnitude, and all magnitude is measured in time. So noumena would be the substrate, if you will, which pre-exists phenomena. So there's two constants, right? Where we got field pressure for noumena and time for phenomena, and it's all, it's all governed by field pressure mediations, which terminate, essentially in this plane of inertia or pure potential, which would be, the inverse. So it's this reciprocating cycle, essentially, this perpetual reciprocating cycle between the magnetic and the dielectric field, being mutually antagonistic to one another, yet simultaneously connected.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
think
why I
it,
kind of called it the yin and yang of the entire universe. These two field geometries, the hourglass and the donut being the negative mirror image of one another. Like wherever you have one, you simultaneously have the other.
yeah, I am following you there. I almost feel like the plane of inertia like is where all of the fields are creating like you only get the reality we're experiencing here when all of these different fields are overlapping one another. I guess is the easiest way I can explain.
Well, no, that's the misnomer, right? That's kind of what mainstream's done, is they subdivided the one field, right, against natural order, and said that, we've got an electric field here, a magnetic field over there, a light field, here, and that's just not how Mother Nature works, right? Like these are all one and the same thing. They're just attributionally different,
Well, of
analogous
course,
to real
essentially
quick, and
as they arise
almost
from
done.
counter space. Sorry.
Yeah, analogous to like water, steam, and ice, all being water, just attributionally different due to their temperature, pressure mediations. So when we look at electricity, light, and magnetism, these are all three one and the same thing. And fundamentally, there's only one field, right? Expressed through, three different attributes, which
No, I
connect to
agree
all phenomena.
100%. Yeah, and so the question is how many fields are there, or like,
Well,
how many
like I said, there's
field
only one.
perturbation modalities? Excuse me.
Yeah, there's only one. There's just an expression, three different attributes to the one thing. Like
Well, there's
everything
more
has
than that.
attributes, right? Everything has attributes, but things that are things have to partake of principles first and foremost, which is where we kind of started the conversation, I guess, prior to the Tesla thing. But however, um, the point is you can have something expressed multiple different ways, which which kind of brings us a round trip to the Trinity discussion earlier. But anyhow, there's only one fundamental field, bud.
Yeah, I agree with that. Then there's all multiple field perturbation modalities. That's how Ken Wheeler described a field. I think that is the most accurate description we have so far. But I think there's more than just three of those. I think there's more like 9, 12, something like that. A lot of ones we don't understand.
So listen to this. Kind of in line with what you were saying earlier. So it's from Jerry's book. Tesla had stumbled onto a great and forgotten truth. Here was a technology which could tap a virtually eternal natural process. Many other etheric drifts were measured, shifting and wandering. These could be measured with changes in seasons and weather patterns. Tesla perceived that whirls, eddies, and laminar flows revealed a dynamic ether. I could read more, but that's the summary.
Nice, like it. Yeah, feel free to send me that.
Yeah, I could post it for the 100th time in chat.
Oh yeah, I don't really do the chat text.
Okay, I'll do it direct. No worries. Yeah, that's why I like blocking people. It makes the chat so much more fun. I can appreciate my gifts for longer.
I like how people, critique a conversation and then just dip out without ever like conceding or articulating their position.
It was weird because we're talking about stuff. We're talking
Total
about a topic that
diversion.
we clearly knew what we were talking about because we're interested in it and we researched it. And then you have somebody coming along and talking about it outside of that. So, what do you know what we're talking about first before you critique it?
Literally said it's not necessary. It's like, okay, well, give me something else.
Yeah, it's not necessary to know how to speak Spanish before you criticize how someone spoke Spanish. Definitely, I like that logic. All right, where's the document? What do you read? All right, I'm sending you the PDF. Oh wait, hold on. That's why I can't send these. I don't have the nitro power to send it direct message. I can only do it in the servers because they're boosted. You want me to just send you the archive link and you can download it yourself?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's a small file, but apparently you need to have nitro to send over 50 megs or something. Yeah, I'm trying to find that part.
That's some kind of like digital drug or something. Or?
No, it's when you pay for Discord, when you pay extra, you can send bigger files directly. But if you're in a server that's already got Nitro Boost, then you can send as bigger files as that server allows. But that doesn't mean that you can do that directly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, nah, it's just being funny.
Oh, okay. I must have been being autistic for like 5 seconds.
No, my humor's a little off sometimes, but
I mean, unless you're mocking Jeremy, is it really funny? Let's bully the mod. Right, let me find this.
Jeremy's got to get his power up too. Don't worry about it.